What you guys got another video. The future of Microsoft Windows is doomed. This is what a lot of people think because they look at the stats on the stat counter that shows Windows is at 66.95% and the other operating systems, as you can see listed on here. This is from 2009 to June 2025, and you can see quite a big decline in the usage of Windows operating systems compared to the beginning. Now remember, there wasn't much competition at the beginning, so obviously it's going to be pretty high, but over the course of time we've seen other operating systems come by and start to take a piece of that pie away from Windows. So you can see here the stats will show the decline line on the Windows right here. It still has a massive market share compared to all of its competitors, and none of them have ever come close to Windows. Now, some people say that Windows is in decline and it's doomed, and eventually Linux is going to take over. This is some of the stuff I see in the comments section, and it's ridiculous to think really that any of these operating systems will surpass Windows itself. So if you look here, we have other dotted, Linux, unknown, Android, iOS, and OS X. These are the options that you have on the screen right here. Now, Linux and unknown, a lot of people will say that the unknown is also Linux, and that's not quite 100% true. Now, StatCounter said that the unknown part is typically operating systems that StatCounter detection methods cannot accurately identify. Now, this can also include various scenarios such as highly customized or obscure operating systems, or even situations where user browsers is not reporting the operating system information correctly, or it's due to privacy settings or the use of things like Tor browser and things like that. Now, they've also gone on and said highly customized or obscure operating systems like FreeBSD that might be detected as an unknown. And there's other niche operating systems out there that will flag as unknown. Also, privacy-focused browser settings. These are used in companies. It might be private or incognito or using tools like Tor. These will obviously flag up an unknown reading because StatCounter can't read those. Also, firewall interferences. Some cases, some companies will use network firewalls, especially within corporate or financial industries and things like that. These will also block the operating system information that is known, and these will also be flagged as unknown as well. You also got other operating systems like Chinese operating systems for phones and things like that. These can also be detected. There's tons of other reasons why this will flag up like this. So it's not just what people think it is, which is it's all Linux. It's just simply not just Linux. It's many other things. Could be a Windows as well that's being blocked, and it will give it an unknown score. And all this information can be found on StatCounter's website. So let's take a look also. I'm going to just quickly remove some of these settings here, and I'll show you some of the other ones. So iOS, you can see how that's started to climb, and now it's tapering off. Also, we do have OS X. Look at the very beginning, and we had a massive spike and a massive peak right up to 20% and it's dipped down to 9.44. So 20.39% in June 2023, and in June 2025 it's now to 9.44%. So you can see operating systems come and go. Now, Windows has had a major drop right here, but you can see the overall usage is still predominantly Windows, and it will stay like that for a long time. Now, you might have seen a few articles or a few people saying that Microsoft's on the slide and they've lost a huge chunk of the market share, and it was a clerical error on Microsoft's part. They put the wrong figure on their blog. They actually put 1 billion instead of 1.4 billion monthly active devices using their Windows operating system. 1.4 billion, I'll say that again. That is a huge amount of devices that are using the Windows operating system, and this is their annual calculation, and I'll leave the link for this article. Now, people do actually jump the gun a little bit and make articles online, and of course this is all to get clicks and they're trying to make Windows sound like it's in a major decline and they've lost so many users due to Windows 11, and it just simply isn't true. A lot of this has been a clerical error on Microsoft's part, and they have amended their actual calculation there. They said they rounded it up instead of just putting the true figure there. And the stats doesn't show it either. If you look at the stats here, the overall desktop operating system market share worldwide is still 70.7% of Windows, and you can see right down there Linux at 4.1, and that's from June 2024 to June 2025. And you can also see Mac OS and unknown again popping up there. Now you might want to claim that as a majority of Linux, and rightly so. You might want to put a few more percentage on Linux, because some of those will be unknown Linux distros that are showing up there. Now, Linux does have its own category, as you can see, at 4.1%. Now, the incomplete data reporting stat counter relies on browser-based detection, which doesn't make it 100% accurate. And also, some browsers or browser configurations might not provide the necessary data, leading to the unknown classification. So with a 70.07% market share, I don't think Windows is going anywhere anytime soon, and none of the other operating systems have made any major ground on Windows. So I don't see any of these graphs changing over the up and coming months, and I definitely don't see Linux's stats suddenly spiking up and taking a huge chunk of the market share from Windows, like a lot of people keep claiming in the comments section. It's just not going to happen, and there's many reasons why that won't happen. Now, it's not to say that a lot of people aren't going to use an alternative operating system, because they will do. Some people haven't got the money to buy new computers, so they may look for alternative operating systems. So the overall stats, as you can see, for the operating systems from June 2024 to June 2025, you can see Windows is pretty stable. It's stabilized now at this sort of level, and it's still pretty high compared to, say, the other operating systems. And when you look at, say, Linux, people talk about the growth of Linux, but it's not really growing enough to make it even mentionable. There's a steady line there that goes along for Linux, and it hasn't changed that much. It goes up 1% or 2%. Now, looking back here, you can see the market share for Windows 10 has actually dropped, and also Windows 11 is catching up to Windows 10 by quite a bit. And when we see these stats changed here to July when they're released, you'll probably see Windows 11 has surpassed Windows 10. Now, this is the overall for every single country. Now, remember I mentioned about other countries that are poorer countries, that they're still on Windows 10, and they're the ones that are giving you that high percentage of Windows 10 users. A lot of the big major countries like Britain and America and other countries like Russia, they've already transitioned over to Windows 11 and surpassed Windows 10 by quite a bit. So you can see the other operating systems up the top here. Some people still use Windows 7, Windows XP. A lot of these are going to be systems that are using proprietary software that are not connected to the internet, and probably somewhere in the back end, I would have thought, where they're using those. And the Linux line right here, you can see 0.62% in February 2009, going all the way up to around about 3.92% in June. So that's all it's gone up in that amount of time there. In all of those years, it hasn't grown hardly at all. And that will drop down back down to like 3% and things like that. It goes up and down throughout its course. And that's due to people trying Linux for the very first time, and then they realize that they just can't do everything they want to do on Linux and go back to Windows. Some people can get on with Linux and stay on it, and that will be the percentage you see right there. Now, of course, the unknown, again, we've already gone through this, but I just want to quickly show you the percentage goes up and down, and this is going to be a variety of different operating systems. Some of them are going to be Linux as well, so they can add a bit onto their percentage from those. But again, these are for tablets and desktop, as you can see right here. If I turn this just to desktops right here and then viewed the chart, it will give you a better understanding of the overall, as you can see. Now, I will say at the end of the day, choose the operating system you want to use, and don't waste your time and energy on hating on other people's operating system. It just really is negative, and it's not good. If you're a Linux user and you use Linux, good for you. If it does everything you need it to do, then use that operating system. If you're happy with it, it doesn't mean you have to go out and start hating on Windows users because you're now a Linux user. You very rarely see Windows users going around bashing Linux users every single day in the comments section like I see. And it's not just on YouTube. It's every YouTube tech channel I see Linux users bashing Windows, and it's just on forums, it's on Reddit, it's everywhere. And they are just literally toxic. It's so terrible, and I just don't get it. So Windows isn't doomed like a lot of people say. It's still going pretty strong. It's still got a huge market share. And regardless of what people say, I can't see Linux surpassing Windows anytime soon or any other operating system. So to make things equal, I think you would have to see Linux have all of the software and all of the games working just like Windows has, and also have an option or a choice to either buy a computer with Linux or Windows on it. When those two things change, you will see a big change in the market share, I think, but it's not going to happen anytime soon because Microsoft will not allow it to happen. So I think Windows is going to be dominating the market share for some time to come, as far as I'm concerned. And that's just my opinion, of course. Let me know your opinions and thoughts in the comments section down below. Keep them civil, of course, and I'll do my best to read all of those comments and reply to them. My name has been Brian from briteccomputers.co.uk. Just want to say a quick shout out to all my YouTube members who joined my YouTube members group. I really do appreciate the support, and I shall catch you in the very next video, or I'll see you on the Discord server. The link's in the video description. Thanks again for watching. Bye for now.